your okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Good connection, it says. Good. Okay, we're live.
Welcome to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. Lana has been a practicing psychic for 25 years and has gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She's an empath, a medium, as well as a pet communicator and health advisor. Today we discuss how's your awakening going?
Yeah.
And the power of blue calcite.
Blue calcite.
Welcome back to the studio.
Finally.
Yes.
I haven't been in the studio in like 6 weeks, you guys. Every time I would be here, somebody would be like, well, we're doing this, so you can't be in. And then I'd be like, well, I'm gone. Vacations and, it's summer. What do you expect, right, everybody? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Here comes some of my people. Hi, how is everybody? Anna, hi, guys. So what we're talking about this morning is how is your awakening going? Because we started an awakening, everybody, the whole humanity, starting on December 20th, 2020, because that's when the Age of Aquarius started. So I will say one thing to you, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it is Leo season. And I have a guest on here who's also a Leo, so that's an interesting thing. And he's a Leo, he's a Cancer Leo cusp.
I'm a cusp, yeah.
So it's very interesting. I did not know this, by the way. And I am studying astrology. I will admit to anybody when I don't know something. And I will say, well, I will find out, or I don't know. I am learning a lot about astrology, and I know that it's Lionsgate. And now what that is, that started the 8th to the 12th, was a real intense time. And so all I know is now until the end of Sagittarius, you should be able to manifest anything you want. It's a real intense time right now. Now, I'm going to tell you that especially certain signs are more apt to be that way than others. Sagittarius is always lucky. If you've got a sun, a moon, or a rising, I am telling you to go play lotto. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm not going to say you're going to win, but I do about 15 readings a week, maybe between 15 and 20 readings a week.
Thank you, Princess. Good morning.
And so it's hilarious because one of them just won $20,000 on a scratch ticket. The other one won $5,000.
And that's a moon or sun and rising?
A sun, a moon, or a rising, especially if you are Sagittarius. But everybody's lucky. They're manifesting. Now, really quick, I'm going to tell you a story, and then I've got a guest, you guys, so that you know. I don't know if last weekend, I was in Florida, and you guys knew I was in Florida because we had an issue, and that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I'm out of here. I gotta back something out. There we go. I had to back something off. So this is my story. I'm going on YouTube, okay, and I'm going to be telling this in a minute because it's hilarious. So here I am down in Florida, and I didn't realize it was Lionsgate, and which it's really super high energy, and I'm psychic. So I get up in the morning, and I'm so psychic I can't turn it off. Now I normally can turn my ability off. I know how to. I'm working with tons of kids. I couldn't. And I was compelled to go to a store. It was like a metaphysical store. And I looked at the woman and I was like, somebody's telling me to come here. And I said his name. And she goes, that's my grandpa. And she goes, and you know what? It's my birthday. And I go, oh, that's what it's about. But I couldn't turn it off all day. Couldn't turn it off wherever I went. So I did my reading. I did readings for other people because I just couldn't turn it off. Anyway, he goes to me, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the casino. And I'm like, he goes, you need to be paid for the services you just did for me. And I want to thank you for it. So I'm like, oh, right. And I'm not a gambler, but I'm like, okay, I'll go. And this is exactly what he said to me. My mother-in-law watched this whole thing. And so she goes, go to the third machine on the right is a wolf. There'll be 3 wolves. Find it, pull it. I go to the casino in Immokalee, out in Florida, Southern Florida. And I said, there should be no wolves because that's more like Northern, isn't it? But sure enough, I looked and looked and looked around and there were 3 machines with a wolf. And he goes, pull it, just pull it. And I'm like, normally I don't have this kind of thing happen to me. And I'm like, it was just weird to me. And so I'm like, okay, I pull it, nothing. Pull it again. He goes, this time pull it and just wait. I won $150. He goes, you're stupid. You didn't bet enough. If you had bet all of the money that was on the thing, you would have won like 350. He goes, pull it again. I won another 60. And he goes, is that enough money? I think that's normally what you would get paid if you were doing readings, right? That's literally what happened. And he goes, and I want to thank you again. And so things happen during this. My point being, you guys, things are happening during this Lionsgate. It is a very special time that only happens, like, I believe it's every 85 years. So it's from now until December. So if you want something, you want to manifest something, you guys, go for it. Do it now. Okay. And don't think it's weird by playing Mulatto. Just in case. Okay. So now that I'm out of that, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing. I have a person with me. His name is Josh Swedland, and he's gotten to be a good friend. And he's had an awakening, and it's pretty intense awakening because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk to you and ask you a couple questions because I see a difference in you.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not going to say. Do you mind if I say how I know you?
No, go for it.
I teach with him. Okay. Now this is he's the age of my kids. Okay. So he's a lot younger than me, but I kind of, in a way, have caused sort of his awakening because he had to do a lot of thinking. Anyway, you're going to tell me your story. So that's what he's here for. And then we're going to cover, I found the coolest stone ever, you guys, calcite. And it's like really cool. And I found, anyway, so let's go on with this, Josh. So welcome, Josh. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. Okay. So give me your background. So how were you raised? What's up with that?
Yeah. So I was raised in a very fundamental, like a fundamentalist Christian group, where we would go into deep dives with Bible studies. And I kind of grew up my whole life in this kind of bubble where, like basically we were told that there are 2 ways things are. Things are either from God or they're from the devil or the adversary. Okay. So that certainly made me cautious growing up. And a lot of times where I would feel drawn to something or interested in something, in the back of my head, there would always be a thing of like, oh, but this isn't right. I shouldn't do this, or, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so kind of one day, like this summer was my first summer off that as a teacher, and I've just been, grinding since college.
Yeah. You went and got your certificate, right?
Yeah. So as I was teaching, I was going to school too, and we had the pandemic and we had all this type of stuff. So it was like one thing after the other. And I kind of had a mental breakdown. I decided, I was like, you know what? I need to seek some help. I might want to go to therapy. I might want to seek medications, other type of things like that, because, and again, my parents, my church group that I grew up with, super loving and everything else, just very, very, very cautious, to the point where even they're like, oh, even if you go to therapy, you should go with this person from our group. And I was kind of like,
yep.
No, thank you. And
that's almost cultish, isn't it? In a way, sort of. I mean, it's on the borderline of cultish, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. I just want you to warn you guys, if you ever get to a point in your life where and I did this 2 weeks ago, I talked about this, that somebody says, you listen to me and nobody else, you better run, because that's on the verge of a cult. So so go ahead, keep going, because it's just, and he's got such a fascinating story, you guys. He's told it to me, and I just thought I wanted to share it. So okay.
Yeah. So I started I've been kind of keeping notes on my phone, almost like journaling this whole time. And there was times where I was like, okay, I'm going to. Funny enough, I think it was even maybe TikTok. I started getting these messages on TikTok. I kept seeing about mindfulness and meditating. So then I was like, dealing with a bunch of anxiety and everything else, I'm going to start meditating. And I used to be told that meditation's an Eastern practice. You shouldn't look into that. And that's what I've been kind of told growing up.
Yes.
And on top of that, how do I want to say this? A lot of the decisions that I would make in my life were based off of everything from our church group. So again, being very cautious with everything. Exactly. And then one day, it was almost like an epiphany coming, almost like my regular way of thinking. It was almost like it came in from a different direction, was like, do I really think that the way my group, I was thinking about the vastness of the universe. And I kept seeing these videos where they show Earth and then they start zooming out, and all of a sudden it's like, here's Earth compared to, the size of our sun, the size of Jupiter, the size of the solar system, the size of our galaxy, the size of other galaxies. And it just keeps going. And I'm like, we are a speck on a speck on a speck. We are, I'm like, and in the whole vastness of time and space, you're telling me my group that I belong to, that I grew up with, has the one sliver of what is 100% right or wrong. And I was like,
exactly.
That was the moment where I'm like, I don't think that I want to continue going to this church.
Okay.
It was the first time that I was kind of like, I'm ready to kind of explore and take a step back. And this summer was the first time I got a time to really be introspective. So I started meditating, and I started kind of referring to God as kind of like God, the universe, spiritual guides, calling out and just saying like, hey, I want to feel more connected.
Good.
And then I would meditate, and things would start to happen. And I would be I'd come out of the meditation. I'd be like, whoa, okay, is this just my mind playing tricks on me, or what's going on?
Yeah.
And one time I was with I wanted to feel more connected to everything. And as I was meditating, it's so hard to explain, but it almost felt like roots were going down into the earth, and I just felt connected to everything. I felt like I could feel myself in a couple yards next to me. I could feel myself in different countries. I could feel myself in different animals. And it was I had this epiphany that I'm like, everything is energy. And then I'm like, we are energy. We are a part of this big energetic force.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I get out of the meditation. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. And then I'd go on TikTok, and people would be telling their stories.
Exactly.
And everyone was having similar epiphanies. They're like, yes. And it started saying spiritual awakening. And I called Lana because I called you because I was like, I had a couple more of these moments. And I've always been told that psychics and anything dealing with kind of the supernatural, I was told it's either from God or it's not. And that's kind of the way it was told to me.
So when you first met me, weren't you wondering what I was? And you had mentioned you were praying for me. And I'll take praying any way you want, good or bad. I'll take any of it, because it's positive energy. But so go ahead about that. So
I was really cautious, because I'm like, oh, this is interesting. One of the fellow art teachers I work with is a psychic, and my thought process was always be very careful around her, but also show love, and because I've always had this thing of always showing love in all situations.
And you always should. That's right.
Yeah. And I started seeing that a lot of things with going on in the media, a lot of things, other things, a lot of the ways I grew up seemed like it wasn't as loving as I was being led to believe.
There you go. There you go.
And it was more controlling. And there was a lot of judgment involved. And I was judging you. And I was trying to always say like, oh, I'll keep praying for her. And then I think in my head, I'm like, if God wants to let me know a time to like maybe say something to you or anything else, like maybe it'll come to me. And
I didn't know that the whole time. Seriously. That I didn't know what you were thinking though. I knew that was what was going on because I could feel it. You can feel an energy. So what I had decided to do with you is say nothing. Because I figured that you would see by example, I bring nothing but love.
That's exactly what happened, is because I started kind of saying like, why is it that like there's all this judgment and all this type of stuff that like we're not practicing what we're preaching. Like I love the way that I've grown up learning about Jesus Christ, the way he walked and the way he loved. And then I was like, man, like, if Jesus Christ came back today, he'd probably be like a radical socialist.
Yeah, he would be. He would be.
And I think that would make a lot of people upset who are expecting something else. But it all comes down to like, are you loving others, taking care of others?
Exactly.
And then I started seeing that like, it wasn't loving of me to judge you. And I ended up calling you up.
Yes. And talked to me a good hour and a half. And I knew that was exactly what you were going through. I just didn't say anything. Now I do want to say something to you. You're a different person. There's no anxiety. You seem happier. You've let go of that. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're living your truth, just like Jesus says, to know thy own truth. You're living that. So and I can see it on you. I can feel it in your aura. You're much more balanced. It was like a grapple with you, right? You were grappling.
Absolutely. It was always kind of an inner battle. I've always felt drawn to metaphysical things, but I've always been thinking, no, this isn't right. And like, I'm like, but I'm curious. But no, I shouldn't be curious and everything else. But then when I called and I apologized to you, and I was like, I don't know if you've ever felt this coming off of me, but I just want to apologize if you've ever felt any judgment from me or anything else.
Oh yeah, no offense. Yeah. And I knew, and I'm very gentle. If you always watch my approach, I never said anything.
That's why she wears all the crystals, Josh.
That's right. But I never said anything to any of you guys.
No.
And I never, if I made them uncomfortable, if I saw you were uncomfortable, I quit. I stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about what I did. I just said, but this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I didn't get into any deep philosophical religious stuff, because I'm Gnostic Christian, so I believe in Jesus's true teachings. We've gotten away from it. That's what I practice, but I won't tell anybody what they should practice, because you need to know it yourself.
Absolutely. And that's like, and again, I've had so many of these instances during my awakening where things would happen enough where it just didn't seem like a coincidence anymore. And I would decide, like, again, once I came out of like feeling like I should walk away from my group and kind of discover things for myself and kind of open myself up to new ideas, that's when things started to kind of take off for me. Yeah. And it was almost like, whoa, okay. Like I started asking the universe for signs and other stuff like that, not expecting that I would get them, because I'm like, I 27 years being told that I had this connection with God that our group had that was special.
That was better than everybody else's. And exactly. Yeah.
And then as soon as I was like, okay, let myself, like, I heard this beautiful story of like someone seeking enlightenment, and they're like, they went up to like this monk and they're like, how do I reach enlightenment? And the monk just sits there and he pours out a teacup for the person sitting there and doesn't say anything. And the tea is flowing in the cup and it just starts overflowing. It just keeps overflowing. And the monk isn't saying anything. And finally the person's like, okay, this has just made a big mess everywhere. What's going on? And the monk's just like, if you seek enlightenment, like, you need to get rid of the cup. It's like the energy, like the universe is pouring in all this information, but your preconceived notions can only hold so much. So if we think we know everything, like if we think we know exactly how the universe works and everything else, then that cup, like won't allow you to reach enlightenment because you have preconceived walls built up. So like the goal is to get rid of the cup. So that's what my whole goal has been. Like, I am okay admitting that I don't know anything and just start fresh.
Me too. I always say the more I know, the less I know. And I tell people that. And I'm like, I admit I don't know everything. Because when I get to that point, I need to retire or do something different. Because But thank you for your story. You know, I want to say to you, and now that you're open to this, that I've known you in another lifetime, but I don't know how. I knew you the minute I met you. I think that I was supposed to be responsible to help you with this. Okay.
Yeah,
this awakening. So I'm glad. And now you're working on a project, and I had to chuckle, and it's really, don't tell the idea because, you know, people copy stuff, but he's coming up with an Oracle deck. And I just was I really like it. I'll be the first to buy it. So make sure you get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more what your thoughts are for it. Like, you don't have to be really specific, but.
Yeah, so like, don't give away all my secrets, but So I've like, again, being really introspective during the summer and everything else, I'm being really drawn towards, like, I love birds, I love foraging, and I'm being really into plants and everything else. Yeah. And I kept getting, like, seeing these different examples. I would visit I started visiting this like spirituality store, and they allow you to test out some of the tarot cards and some of the Oracle decks. And again, this is stuff where I'm like, I used to think that it was either like load of bunk or it was like evil, but then it kept giving like all this guidance and wisdom that would just resonate. And the key word is resonate. I'm like, this just feels like this is a message for me. And I'm like, this is really cool. I'm like, man, I have artistic abilities. I want to love people as much as possible. And I love giving guidance and advice. And I kind of started to realize that I'm like, hey, as an artist, as an art teacher too, I think that like my intuition is kind of leaning towards like what I do can be a healing practice.
Exactly.
And I need to allow kids to come to a safe space and just heal. Yes. And be free of pressure. I've almost even thought about getting rid of grading, like after this whole thing.
Exactly. You know what? You're at the same point. I grade on themselves. I grade totally different than a lot of people, so I get it.
Yeah, Josh, so. I got to ask you a quick question.
Go for it.
Looks like you're married.
Yes.
How has your spouse reacted to this awakening?
Actually, that's a great question. So my spouse, my wife, is wonderful because like essentially she would go along with me to everything and kind of always felt like the way we did things was kind of cult like. And she was going along because she loved who I was as a person. And she was like, you know what, maybe I'll get something from this. But she has always been heavy into like, you know, astrology, heavy into, kind of like magical stuff, psychics, other stuff. But she felt like she had to hide that from me because she was like, like once I had kind of my epiphany of everything of like, I don't think my group has like the one singular truth in the universe. Maybe there are some truths in like the lessons and everything else. And it's like, I still think the Bible is a great tool for learning lessons and everything else. But I think that other cultures and other practices and everything else, they wouldn't be practicing what they practice unless they also saw results. So in a way, I think we're all tapping into the same benevolent energy. And that's part of my awakening is kind of like, I think they're all different routes to try to get to the same kind of form of like that loving universal energy. And so anyway, I again, just like how I apologized to you, I felt the need to apologize to my wife. And I was like, hey, I just want to say that if I've ever been controlling in any way, because I grew up in the type of thing that was like, men are the head of the household. Men are supposed to be the spiritual leaders. Men, like, you know, and that was a part of this group. But I have always been kind of going against the grain for it because I'm like, I like if my wife said, oh, I don't really feel like going to church and everything else like that, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to force her. I'm not going to, like, if she's uncomfortable or something like that. But then I would go and I'd feel all this pressure, like the expectation of me in my group was like, hey, why isn't your wife here? Why isn't, like, are you failing as like, you know, the head of the household and other stuff? And that was a part of my anxiety and depression going on. And when I finally lifted that and was like, oh my goodness, this is,
I'm losing.
I always felt that what I was doing was out of love.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept telling myself. I'm like, I love her so much. I want her to see the loving atmosphere that I grew up in. Right. And she needs that. And she needs the word in her life and everything else. Cause that's the way I grew up. And once I had kind of like these awakening moments, and I've had a lot more experiences too that I can tell you guys that are really fun and exciting. But
we'll have you back, absolutely. But here's the key takeaway, right, Josh?
Yeah,
men, if you don't think that the women are right, we just heard it here.
Exactly.
Let's just put it that way.
I always say that women ultimately they've had to take the power away because we are all very, very powerful. So, and you have to remember, this is the age of Aquarius. Women will be in power. The balances will be shifted over the next 2,000 years, but if we're alive that long. But anyway, the human race. But anyway, thank you so much, because I do feel like you are a master in the making.
Yeah.
You are a master. You will be a master. I want you to really keep doing the spiritual growth, because you also have a grandfather coming through. Really, really. Were you close with your grandfather?
My grandfather, one of my grandfathers passed when I was younger.
Yes.
And I wish I got to know him more. And that was actually
you kind of look like him, and you take after him a little bit, because he's coming through really strong. He's very happy for you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I just thought I would mention that, because I know you guys can't all see it, but to me, when I look at you, I can see him he's on your right side. So I can see him. So I just thought I would
mention. Does he have a nice mustache too?
He looks quite a bit like him, though. He's a little shorter than Josh is, I think.
I mean, not beard.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But thank you so much, because I'm always putting people on here that have unique experiences or other things that we've experienced. And yes, I knew how you were, what you were doing. I knew when you apologized to me, you talked to me, I just kind of in the back of my head was chuckling, because I kind of knew already, but I didn't say anything. And it was good that you got that out, though. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that kind of released me a lot.
Good.
I'm seeing synchronicities everywhere now. And that's the type of thing too, where I used to think.
You're on the right path. Yep. You're on your right path. Yep.
Like, it's almost like, am I looking too much into this stuff? Because I'm like, every day I'm pulling on my phone, be like, what is the spiritual meaning of this? What's the spiritual meaning of this? Like, and my wife is joking around. She's like, maybe you're looking too much into, like, maybe not everything has to have such a deep meaning. And I'm like, maybe, but it's also my intuition trying to tell me to like look at the meaning at the same time. So,
yes.
I don't know. It's been really interesting, and I've had some pretty crazy epiphanies. I could always tell you about more and everything else.
Well, I'll have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had synchronicities with lightning once. I was like releasing things, and I would like open my hand and lightning would flash in the background. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like trying to release something, and I'd open my hand, and another lightning flash would happen.
Oh, there you go. I'm
like, maybe it's the Leo in me, but I was like, am I full of myself right now? I'm like, I'm not controlling the weather, but the synchronicity is a bit odd.
Yeah.
And anyway, like I said, I was really excited to come in here and talk.
We're glad to have you, because I want everybody to realize that we're all doing this collectively.
Yeah.
Our 5.2 million listeners appreciate you. You always have a microphone here at 21.6.
That's right. Brother. There you go. You think about it, you're going to be, I'm telling you right now, you're on your way to mastership. I want you to also be looking at Buddhist beliefs. And I don't know.
Absolutely.
I feel like you have a little bit of that, some of those beliefs in you. I just do.
Yeah. I mainly, like, my main takeaway is that, like, from this whole thing is that, like, everybody is on their own. Everyone's soul is on their own journey.
That's right.
And we should seek love in all situations and respect others' journeys as well. And know that they may play a big part in our journeys. And we might be playing a big part in theirs too, whether that's positive or negative. But, you know, also knowing that we don't have to know everything. And I keep using the word introspective, and I'll do a shameless little plug here. Like on TikTok, I've been starting to share more of my stories, and it's at introspective toad.
Okay. Well, and you know what I noticed, because you're on my TikTok too. You're getting followers from it too.
Yeah. So if anyone listening,
everybody's on the same journey you are is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody wants to follow me on there, or even just like little thoughts that we didn't have time to share on this podcast. And again, if I would love to come back anytime you'd have me.
That's not a problem, my dear.
Right? Does that look right?
Introspective toad on TikTok.
Introspective toad. It's because I did a piece of art with like a toad and a mushroom and all these cool colors, and I was like, I'm gonna just have some fun with that.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I get it. And remember now, when you get your deck done, I not only know publishers, I got 5.2 million people. So just listening. Right. So okay.
Yeah, I'll tease the like the name of it, but I'm thinking of making an oracle deck that's called like Feathers and Fungus. So
hey, and you know what? I remember I told you. Now I had somebody before I let you go. I had somebody that just put on here as a comment. How do you manifest? Remember, I've taught this over and over. You set your intent. So I'm trying to tell you, set your intent to get your deck done. Okay. So once you set that intent, it aligns you with what you're going to do. And that makes you manifest. And it's it's an acronym. I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that. So for all of you guys, if you want, I had somebody, I want to win a lot of money. I can't guarantee you're going to win a lot of money, but I can guarantee you win some. Put your mind to it. For me personally, right now, I'm like, I'm going to win money. I'm winning like 20. I do. I'm winning money. 25, 30, 35. And I did have it right. I did have, I thought I was going to win $33,000. I kept having a dream. It was $3,300 from the government because they owed me money from back taxes. So I'm like, hey, but I 1-0 off. So anyway, blessings to you, Josh. And I'll talk to you again. We'll keep in touch. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm definitely going to be in touch during this whole process. School's about to start again too. So
well, we all know where I am with that. I'm not going to say anything more about that. So, but you know where I'm at with that. So
real quick, like and follow him on TikTok at Introspective Toad. And Josh, follow 216 the Net for me out there on YouTube and Facebook as well, buddy.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely fair. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for having me on.
Bye. Okay. So what I'm going to cover for the next 15 minutes, because I know you guys have got questions. I already got questions. I just had to take myself off Facebook. You know what? It's just a very unstable connection. I don't know what's going on. So what I do is I'm keeping you on here, but you're getting me on YouTube and you're getting me on 216 the Net's Facebook. I'm going to take this show. I'm going to post it on my Facebook. I'm going to take a little bit and put it on TikTok. If you guys don't know what's going on with me, I'm still working. And I'm really, really busy. I'm having this. I had no idea this was going to do this. I'll take off like this. I'm got approximately 1 million live watchers. I'm booked solid for readings. I'm really busy, and I know I'm supposed to be doing this full time, but I'm not quite there yet. Maybe I need to take a leap of faith and follow my own advice, right? So anyway.
All right. So before we get to the
calcite?
Calcite, thank you, the blue, right?
Yeah.
I just want people to know this. I track Lana because I'm a mythbuster. So, you can read that in the news, whatever. So on May 22nd, 2021, we did a show that was more predictions.
Yes.
Lana's more predictions. At that time, she said COVID's numbers in Australia were going to rise incredibly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been following the news or watching, they've actually shut down Australia.
Oh, they did again? I didn't know that. See, I don't know my own predictions. I don't know what's going on. Remember me predicting on there that Canada would open in August?
Yes.
What happened last week?
That's right.
I was right on that too.
Let me see. I just looked at that this morning too.
See, he keeps a track, you guys.
I do.
He's had it on a board before, so he keeps track and then
Also, back at the beginning of the year, you had said that there were going to be a lot of border atrocities. A little weird down there at the border.
Yes, it is. It is right now.
So that's good. There's another one. But yeah, you did. And that was the first show of the year when you
I have
said
more
the
predictions,
one with
by
Canada.
The way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, hey, if you question, I'm just letting you know. Oh no, you said that on May 22nd, so that one came true as well.
Okay.
Canadian border to open in August. You said
yes, I did
on May 22nd.
Yeah, then you've got it. Okay, yeah, you can cross that off.
Yeah.
So, and you have to remember, you guys, it's not me talking.
Right.
I want to know this that that it is some ancestors and guides, but it's a woman that comes to me. She's wearing a white robe and a bright blue wrap around her head, like a cloak. And she says she's Mother Mary. I'm not Catholic. So I just know that's what she says, who she says she is.
No.
And so I'm just repeating what they say to me.
For the naysayers out there as well, or the people who don't, she's not 100%.
No,
she is not 100%. She's missed on a few, but that's okay. I mean, the way that I'm looking at it, she's probably 85 to 90%.
Yeah, I would say someone told me too that I'm about 90%.
If you were a betting person, you would go with it. Right?
Yeah, and it's funny because they tell me things about myself. Now, I was reading yesterday did a party. So her name was Mo. So happy birthday if you're listening. I told you to listen this morning. And I did readings there. Mm-hmm. And they tell me things about my life. They tell me about other things going on in the world. And because I'm a huge Packer brewer, I like the Cubs too. And they said they thought the Milwaukee might win it this year is what they said they would win it. So there's a prediction. And I did get the Bucks in 6, didn't I?
Yep. And Christian, just for those on the radio listening, Christian says, Lana, you said my husband's work benefits would come in 4 weeks. They did. Exactly.
Good.
The only thing you were wrong about is that you said it would be less than you thought, or we thought. Happy to report it was more.
So see, I was a little off. I got the time right, but okay. Right. Good. I'm glad it was to your favor and not, good.
So I just like to report those things here on the metaphysical meanderings because I want everybody to know that there are some good things happening here 21/6 the net over at www.enchantedSky.com as well.
Book a reading with me. This is my last week where I've got everything open. I've got it. Okay, so here's the deal. I got 37 days left. Okay, you guys. And you can see how I'm like, and I did get another job offer. I don't know for sure they're coming through with enough, and it's working less hours and it's like a part-time and I might be doing that because I like working with kids and it's as a healer. Somebody just called me for an appointment. That's exactly what that was. So, because my phone, I'm at a point where I have to put it on silent a lot because it'll just ring all day long. So anyway, Colin booked me. I'm $55 this week. So the next week or so, couple weeks. Yeah. I kind of came down to $10, half hour. Mm-hmm. You can ask me a one question now, but remember it's $40 or is it $45? It's one of those, but I get cheaper as you go. Mm-hmm. So the longer you go with me, the cheaper I get. Mm-hmm. So, and I want to tell you something, I also am on a national website, like a psychic website, and I'm not going to say because they took me off because they take too much money of my money. But anyway, your people are paying the lowest one on there is $4 a minute. I'm $4 a minute and they get half my money. Figure it out. $4 a minute times 60 is $240 an hour. And I am charging 90 and I am proven. So think about how cheap I am. And I'm doing that on purpose because I think they're charging too much.
Ida, thank you. You said you see a travel for me over the waters. You were right. We flew to Greece.
Oh, good, Ida. Good. Yeah, I just repeat what they see. They tell me I'm a combination of clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant. I do a little bit all of it. Yeah. Sometimes I taste too. They'll say, "Oh, you really your uncle really loved barbecue sauce or something," and I'll be like, "I just it's just the way it is."
There it is.
So, all right, let me cover this quick because I only got about 5 minutes. We're going to cover calcite. Now, this is so hilarious because this is blue calcite. Now, it's hard to see. Can you do a mic that? Like this, maybe?
Yeah, there you go.
Like that. It's a blue calcite. Now there's brown running through this. Now this is a light blue calcite, and I've been studying it. I didn't know what it was when I got it. I found it at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
I mean, no joke. It was just on a shelf sitting there with no price. And I go, hey, that's blue calcite. And then I thought at first it was kyanite. Kyanite's rough, blue and flaky. And I go, no, I think it's calcite. And I'm looking at it and I noticed that there's a kind of a brownish color in there. I think you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
That's telling me that it's rare. So this is a rare stone and you can get different colors of calcite. It's almost a form of marble. It's real close to marble. It's not quite. I want to tell you that I couldn't take this thing out of my hands, and I kept turning it and going, I just got to have this. And I didn't pay much for it. That's what was so funny. They had clear ones too, but the clear crystal ones, but I don't think they knew what they had, because this is a rare stone.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly can't remember this red is another mineral that's in here. You don't find it that often, because usually calcite's much bluer. This is a light blue calcite, which is it's harder to find. And I think they call it jet calcite, which means it comes from Jet, Utah. I think. Now, I'm not perfect on that, but I think that's
so. Right. What does it do? Okay,
so listen to this. It deepens your intellect, your psychic ability, your spirituality, your astral projection, your channeling. It's connected also to you emotionally. So I'm going to use this when I read now. I'm going to set it on wherever I'm reading. I knew there's a reason. Think about this, you guys. Everybody's attracted to certain stones. There's a reason. I really, really like shungite. Well, that's one of my stones. And I'm really attracted to smoky quartz also. And it has a lot to do with what I'm going through at this time. But this was psychic ability. It was like it was singing at me almost, like I was sitting on the shelf singing. Well, what do I do, right? And I told you that I was having a hard time shutting it off. Well, this amplifies everything. So I had to put this away somewhere and wrap it up. Now, this is old tradition, by the way, you guys. So if you want to keep things clear, like your tarot cards, I don't know if I'll have time. Yeah, I'll have time for my tarot card of the day. You're supposed to wrap it in silk. Did you know that? If you wrap it in silk, put it under your pillow, or do something like that, you will dream better. You will be better aligned, and it'll also clear everything. Because I if you've been watching me on YouTube, I've been reading these tarot cards. Well, I've got how many thousands of people are watching. And so I'm filling up with your energy, and I start talking really fast, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll see me go really slow again. I'm aware that I'm doing it, and I'm slowing my energy down. That is a way to clear your energy, guys. If you start having anxiety, I just posted a video about 478, and I'm going to post another one. If you feel your energy starting to get ramped up, like you're full of anxiety, breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, release it for 8. It works. I swear by it. It's part of a meditation cycle, but it's also your sleep pattern. So just remember that. Breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, release it for 8. I kind of mentioned that last week, but I'm going to do that again, and because it's really important. Because I also truly think a lot of people's anxiety is happening. I went last week, and I might be getting them as a sponsor. I went and had a liquid vitamin D shot.
Yeah.
And I feel like a different person. If you can't tell the difference in me, I was having anxiety. And that's one of the prime, if you have low vitamin D and you're not able to absorb it in your stomach, which I'm not, because I'm taking vitamin D and I am really low. As soon as I got that, I slept through the night. I'm not having anxiety. I feel better. I feel great. And I'm mentally also, I'm thinking clearer. I have an attitude like, oh, I'll get to it. Before it was like, oh my God, I got to get to this, got to do that. Now it's like, okay, I'll get to it. One simple little vitamin D shot. And I'm actually working out so I can be a spokesperson for them. Okay. Because they are hard to find, but there's a company that does them, like in a store. And then also you can order them yourself. Like people are like, I can't give myself a shot. I gave my mother her insulin shots at 5 years old. So it never has bothered me because I understand it. But just to let you know that if you are feeling like you have tons of anxiety and I was even having heart skipping, like my heart would be skipping. I mean, and no one could tell me what it was. Nobody. And I used to go for shots there. And I found that store was down in Florida when I was there. And somebody said to me, well, what do you think it is? And I said, well, you know what? I got to take my own health in my own hands. I can't compare. I don't dislike doctors. I do have some distrust for them there's a couple of reasons. But I do what they ask me to do, blah, 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 blah. But it's ultimately my responsibility. It's my body. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go every few months and go get vitamin D shots because I feel so much better. I'm even exercising better. I was getting tired. I couldn't oh my God, it was terrible. So and by the way, that could be like, I don't know if you guys know, I can't lose weight. It's a psychic thing also. People, if you ever met, most psychics are bigger people. We just are. We're carrying around other people's energy a lot. But the vitamin D thing let's see if I lose weight now. So I eat like a bird. And my mother-in-law even said that you eat like a bird. I'm like, yeah, I know. So anyway, with that said, Calcite, go get some if you would like to increase your psychic ability, because it really does help. It does do something. And I'm picking up on that. Same thing like the shaman stones. And blessings to all you guys who bought shaman stones. I just sent out a bunch. I mailed them for you. So they said that they really like them. They're happy they got them. And I tried really,
awesome.
hi Emily. I tried really hard to make sure you got them immediately. And most people got them by Tuesday or Wednesday. So as soon as I could mail them. So, okay. Card of the day, really quick. One card of the day. I'm going to pick one out of my deck, and that's how I'm going to do it. I guess I got to look back at my former shows. Then I have to see which one I picked, right?
Well, you'll pick the
But
right
there's so many nuances to the cards. I could go on and on all day with them. We've got a 6 of swords is today.
Six
of swords. 6 of swords. Now the 6 of swords is you getting away from something. Now you're kind of downtrodden and you're not real happy about it, and you don't necessarily want to go, but you know you have to. That's what that means. It also means you could be going over water, okay? Traveling over water. You're getting away from what does not work. It's also a card of healing. It represents healing. So you're getting away from something. It's not working. You have a time to think, time to plan, time to just heal. If you notice, it's a person with their child, and they're just getting away from something. That's really what it represents. The swords represents cutting. Okay, so yeah, there are 4: the pentacles and the wands and the cups and the swords. So you understand. And matter of fact, these all relate to the deck of 52. You guys do know that, right? I just want to let you know. So, and I know people who just read the deck of 52. Actually, I'm going to have somebody on here soon that she reads the deck of 52.
All right.
Okay. So I appreciate that, because I do not. So I read tarot. So, and anybody that asks also, if you get, what's the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck? There's the same exact thing. It's just an oracle deck has words on there that are just really super simple, where these have been developed over thousands of years. And there's a lot of things to this there's nuances to it. I can read time with these even. Okay. It's just, and they have to do with the zodiac. They have to do with, all of it, so, all right. So it's that time.
It's that time, and we've got questions rolling
already.
in. They set their clocks.
Yes.
And here you go. So Brenda, good morning. The move is done this week.
Good.
I'm a Sag and healer, but new job offer is not in healthcare. Am I on the right path?
Brenda, you need to give me more information. What's it in? What's the new job? I just come back to me and tell me what it is. Okay. Because then I can tell you. Okay.
A good friend Nancy says, Lana, do you see me moving? I'm growing lots of plants and pots, and I don't want to put them in the ground if I'm going somewhere else. Glad you're feeling better. And hello, Kent.
Hey. Yeah, but it's not as soon as you would like it to be. Okay. I just letting you know. I would say more next year, maybe even summer or fall. I mean, it's going to be like a year yet. Okay. I don't know why, but it seems like that. And here's one other thing to everybody. Remember I talked to you about the housing market?
Yeah.
There's the houses, okay, there's a place you can go and buy a house foreclosed on, like at the courthouse steps, no joke. Went from 2 or 3 and there's just piles. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, prediction for you is I got this yesterday that inflation's going to pretty much just stop. That must be that they're going to raise the interest rates or something. Something's going on where everything's going to balance out. So the interest rates are probably going to go up or something. I'm not sure. I just know that's a prediction.
Christian says, Nancy, maybe that 6 of sticks or whatever you call that there, that card you just pulled is for her.
The six of swords.
Swords.
It could be. I could have pulled it for you. Yes, you're right.
You never know.
Yep, it could be. Right. I do have a tendency. If you guys think last week when I got that person that was threatening me, what card did I pull? I pulled a Tower card, because that was a shock to me that somebody would be that nasty. And so I kind of, when I pulled it, I went, uh-oh, what's going on? It's the first thing I thought to myself. And sure enough, so they're accurate. I don't care what anybody says. They're not magic though. They reflect back to you is what's going on. Because you already know it's going to happen. You planned it in your life. So that's why when you're shocked, it's funny that you're shocked because you really do know.
We got them pouring in now. Ida says, Lana, when I get to save some money, something happens. Some new bills come out of nowhere. Something breaks. Well, I win the lottery.
Ida, if you win, it won't be that much. It'd be a couple of grand. But okay, when you save some money, you've got that money to pay for those things. It's almost like you're manifesting in your head. You know that it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to view that differently. And if you view that differently, more money will come.
There we go.
Do you understand? Okay.
Desiree says, what are your predictions in regard to the Delta variant?
The Delta variant, I want to say here in the United States, the numbers are going to go down. I don't know if it's going to mutate. I do predict that something at the end of the year is a common fix. And I don't understand. I've been saying that for 2 years now.
Science is catching up with things.
Maybe that's it. I think that we are on top of it now, that we get it. I say that it's going to die, but there is another variant coming. And I want to say it's not going to be as strong. And I want to say that we're going to be vaccinating, because I already predicted that we're going through that's my other prediction, was that third vaccination. I was right. Mm-hmm. And I want to say it's as fast as it came is as fast as it's going to go. And we're going to end up, it's going to be like a flu shot. We're going to end up getting, did you get your COVID? No, I didn't get it this year. You got to go get it. Yeah, I'll get it.
Right.
It's like that.
There you go.
Okay.
Anna, good morning. I know I've asked you before about my new job. I just want to know again what you think. I don't know how to feel about it right now.
It's up to you if you want to leave, Anna. I do think something else is out there for you. And don't think that, and remember, this is a journey. I had somebody say this to me recently when they called me, that they're like, well, I followed my gut. My gut led me wrong. Your gut never, that's your soul talking. That never leads you wrong. Is it possible that this was a stepping stone to get you to where you're supposed to be? Probably. Not even probably. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Jen asks, will my husband take over his current company, or will he switch gears and partner with someone else, starting from ground up?
Partner with somebody else. He doesn't like how some stuff is being run with that current company. He'll have full control. He's very much a take charge kind of guy. He must be an earth sign. I bet he is. And he really, having it from scratch really ignites his soul. So, and so if he thinks of taking that, I'm telling him to start over.
He's born late October,
early November. That's Scorpio. Okay, that would make sense too. Scorpios, people don't realize that Scorpios are they got a lot of power because Mars is their ruler. They look crazy. People say, oh, Scorpio's crazy. No, they are very, very powerful, and they are their own worst enemy. So, okay.
He's good at what he does too.
Yeah.
All right. Me says, will I get a job offer soon?
How soon? I want to say November. Okay. So take your time off and meditate, Mel. You'll be okay.
There you go. Christian says, we're planning a huge renovation and I am nervous. Any advice? Like, hey, don't do it.
I want you. Okay. This is what they're telling me to tell you, Christian. Watch every single dollar coming in and every single dollar coming out. There's going to be some contractors that may try to rip you off. I want you to be watching them closely. I know, because I remember I live on a farm that I've renovated myself, and I've been ripped off a couple of different times. One time I sued and won. But now when they are in my house, I stand there like, they call me the boss lady. Because you know what? I'm paying you. You better do what I'm telling you to do. You better, and so I literally will stand there like this. They call me the boss lady. I said, hey, I'm paying you. I am your boss.
That's right.
So take that kind of charge, Christian, and you will be okay. But I feel like somebody may try to rip you off. Watch closely.
There you go. Nancy says, yep, that's okay. I can wait. Thanks, Lana.
Okay.
Sarah says, going through a difficult divorce, how will I know which attorney is the right one to represent me?
I want to say the right attorney is a male. He's kind of not a real big guy, dark hair, real thick, kind of parted on the side. He's kind of laid back. You personally, Sarah, need a laid back attorney. Yeah, you need, everybody wants that dog out there going at him. That isn't the type. I want to say he has a very gentle approach to getting what he wants. And he's very, very good at that. Let him take care of it. And you'll be surprised that it'll go very smoothly that way. If you get somebody that goes in for the kill, there's going to be too much fighting. So find that guy if you think he's coming your way. If not, be looking for him. Dark hair. I want to say dark eyes, kind of a shorter figure. I don't know if he's Spanish or Mediterranean. I don't know, but I just know he has dark hair and it's real thick and it's parted on the side. Okay.
There it is. Emma says, "Hi, Lana. I've been single for a very long time, so have started online dating. Do you see this being successful for me, or shall I come off it and go back to trying to meet someone face to face?"
In your case, Emma, you're going to find somebody, but I want you to be careful and make sure you go slow. And they are going to be locally near you. It's not like it's please don't, whatever you guys do, don't go to these long distance relationships because most of the time they aren't real. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I do feel, Emma, if this person is local for you and that this is a very possible real meeting for you. Okay.
Brenda comes back and says, "Yeah, the new job is at a casino, not in healthcare."
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I think Brenda, yes, I think I knew that. It's going to pay the bills. I want you to do your side, do what I'm doing. This is believe it or not, this is a side hustle for me right now. And I want you to do it because that's when it'll take off and you can quit there. You need the benefits, and I know that, and I can feel that that's what you're needing. And that's another prediction. We will have national health care with 3 years or under.
You're blowing up.
Those are all appointments, guys. Those are appointments. I'm booking up. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Good. Mm-hmm. Jen says, "Yeah, he's very take charge, and it would."
Yep. See. Okay. Right. Yeah. That's right, Jen. Okay. Yep. Good.
Shin says, "Will my love life improve soon?"
What's soon? 6 to 9 months. There is somebody coming your way. I want you to understand that, and nobody wants to be alone, but I do want you, everybody, to understand that nobody needs anybody. You need yourself. And we as women are taught that we need men, and we definitely don't need men, but definitely do not. But anyway,
do I need to mute that microphone over there?
Well, we don't need anybody, honestly. If you're okay with yourself,
That's
love
right.
will find you. And that is my belief.
That's right.
But you do have somebody coming in about 6 to 9 months. So it looks like around the spring.
There we go.
And Shin, you are Asian American, right? Or Asian? Because I feel like this person is your same nationality. He may be Asian or Indonesian or something of that order.
South
okay?
Asian or something.
South Asian, yeah, something. Okay.
All right. Ida says, "My brother is waiting for an immigration court document. Will the result be positive? Will he get what he is waiting for?"
Yes, he will. If he's trying to become a citizen or something, that it's all good. I feel like the paperwork, this is what I hear. The paperwork will work out. It'll all be okay. Something will get back to, he has another meeting or something coming up there's something in October. There's something again in February, but I feel like it's going to go like it's supposed to go. Okay.
Fantastic. Marissa says, "I wrote a children's book and would like to continue to get them published out. I need an artist. Any suggestions?"
All right, Marissa. Yeah, I know. You know I'm a professional illustrator, right, Marissa? Just remember that, right? I really am a professional illustrator.
And reach out to Jen on here. She just published her book.
Yes, and that's right. Well. Jen did too. See, this is my Just Shades of Brown. I did it all myself. So see, look, I'm a professional illustrator myself. So if you want that, you know what? I honestly, I got a decent portfolio. Yep. See me about it. No, seriously. So I'm a jack of all trades. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, being a fire sign, you understand. And if you other fire signs, we can't stop. We're like Energizer bunnies. Actually, I had somebody did a reading for her, and she goes, "You're like the Energizer bunny." And I'm like, I know I am. I just can't. I can't sit. It's very hard for me to slow down because I'm going to have my tonsils out. I got to slow down. And I'm also having a smaller health problem right now and never have had health problems in my life. And well, I'm going to be 55. So I guess there they start, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And we're excited for that book too, Marissa. That'll be cool.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Mel, good morning. Mel asks, "Will I eventually finish my portfolio and my photo project?"
Okay. You're procrastinating. This is what you need to do what I told Josh, because I feel like if I don't tell you this, you're going to wait another year and a half, and it needs to be done sooner than that. You need to set a date on your phone that you're going to be done. That's that simple. If you do that, it for some reason that just helps you go. And in your head, it gets your gut gears moving. And by the way, I see your photos. You're doing something. You're very good. I can see your photos. You're really good. Remember, I'm an art teacher, and I know when somebody knows what they're doing. You do know what you're doing. You do need to get that out. Okay. Beautiful. And I'm not just making that up. Okay.
Beautiful. Hey, Lana. Deanna asked, do you see things getting better from my husband's work? He has been working a lot, and it's causing a ton of stress.
Well, he's going to get a new job.
Well, there you go.
You're going to, you guys are going to sit down at some point coming within the next 3 months and say, the money isn't worth it anymore.
There we go.
Okay. I'm worth it. You're worth it. Our marriage is worth it. I really think he's going to look for something else or transfer or within the company, something. There's something different coming his way. Because I do want to tell you that it is ruining his health, and he's going to have a major health event if he doesn't change within a year and a half.
There
okay. You need to change.
There you go. Jordan, he asks, hello, Lana. What career path do you believe I will pursue into?
Jordan, are you good with numbers? Because I'm asking that. Get back to me. I feel like you're good with numbers. There's something to do with numbers. I don't know if it's IT, if you're good with the computer, but it feels like lines of numbers. So that's why I don't know. Get back to me on that.
There you go.
Okay.
Mel that comes back to that and says, how long will it be until I finish my
how long?
Photo project?
Well, if you really, really work with it, you'll get it done in 4 months.
There you go.
But you procrastinate. So quit procrastinating. Leos procrastinate. Do you procrastinate?
No.
He's a Leo cusp.
No, I just like running up to the very end of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Rachel asks, will my love life improve very soon?
You got somebody you have a chance. Somebody's coming back in your life from your past if you want to pursue that. Other than that, you gotta probably sometime next year. There's somebody coming that you might be able casual. I don't know how serious that would get, but there's somebody coming in. If you want to bite into that, you can. I feel like you're hesitant about it. So, okay.
She is a Aries Taurus cusp.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
All right. Me asks, my oldest daughter will get her master's degree this autumn. Will she get a job in London?
She's going to get a couple offers. One here in the United States, one there, one like Australia, somewhere a little odder, like Australia or New Zealand. There's something there's like three. Okay.
There you go. Of course, that's going to bring us right to the bottom of the hour. If she didn't get to your question, if you have other questions, reach out to her at www.enchantedsky.com. But really quickly, a follow-up for Jordan says, yes, I want to believe them good with numbers.
Yes, I really, really fast, Jordan. I feel like you are working at kind of like an office, and you're like maybe for an accountant. Or I feel like an attorney or something. Like you're crunching numbers for somebody. And yeah, I thought you were good with numbers because I can see lines and numbers. And that's the kind of thing you need to be. That's where your talent lies, is with numbers.
There you go. And of course, everyone jump back in here at 10:45 for the Neighborhood Pulse right here on 216 The Net Facebook and 216 The Net YouTube. Come back next week, same psychic time, same psychic channel. And listen, you don't have to wait till next week, though. Reach out to Lana at www.enchantedsky, that's sky with an E at the end.com, and she can do a reading for you. She can help you out. And
you can also join my Patreon.
You can join her Patreon where she's doing classes.
Yes. Well, they're not quite classes. It's more mentoring where you call and we all talk, but it's at Lana's Enchanted Sky. So go to Patreon, Lana's Enchanted Sky, and join me.
There you go.
I'm really cheap. I'm probably like really inexpensive, but that's okay. Somebody said I'm charging way too little, but that's okay. That's not the point.
For all of us here at 216 The Net, thanks for getting caught in the net this morning. Be safe, stay in good vibrations, and we'll see you next week.